Hey guys, Spielberg back here again with a brand new video. This one is going to be the best and worst films of 2014. So yes, this video is going to be talking about, in my opinion, the best and the worst films of 2014. I have a list here, so don't mind me if I'm looking back and forth from the list. So I have 10 best films, and I think it's 7 or 8 worst films. I can't remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 worst films, and I got 10 best films. So let's start off with the worst film, starting at number, how many did I say we had? 7. Let's start at number 7. So this isn't the worst of all time, but it was one that was super terrible, and that is Paranormal Activity, The Marked Ones. One that was obviously, I think, on a lot of people's list that a lot of people didn't like. Personally, it wasn't a favourite of mine. It really wasn't that great of a film this year. I wouldn't put it in the worst films of all time, but it definitely goes in the worst films of this year. Honestly, the Paranormal Activities obviously need to stop. They lack originality anymore. They're just spinning off from the original. Moving on, guys. Coming in at number 6 is The Possession of Michael King. Yes, another found footage pile of crap movie that I don't think many people like to use tactics that a lot of people found to be stupid or annoying. And in my opinion, I found both of them to be what I thought of, both annoying and stupid. Coming in at number 5 is Transformers: Age of Extinction. Yes, a lot of people hated this one. I thought it was better than the third, but still came in the worst list of 2014, or the worst movies of 2014. Coming in at number 4, the Lego Movie. A lot of people really love this movie, and I hate overrated films a lot of the time, and sometimes I love them. Just depends, because I know I've got a couple of overrated films in my best or the favourite movies of this year. Coming in at number 3, The Other Woman, starring Cameron Diaz and Leslie Mann. One that I found to be quite annoying, wasn't funny, really just didn't make me laugh. It was just stupid and pointless in my opinion. Coming in at number 2, Godzilla. This, I've seen this 3 times already. I'm liking it more and more every time I watch it. Still wasn't the best film this year, and it definitely goes in the worst this full time. Coming in at number 1, which is the worst film of the year in my opinion. Guys, just keep in mind, this is my opinion, not yours. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this being my number 1 hated film of the year, and that goes to Guardians of the Galaxy. I found this movie to be absolutely horrible and just plain stupid. As I said, there's a couple of overrated films I just seem to hate, and this just seems to be one of them. In my opinion, this would probably go on the worst films of all time list, just because I thought it was stupid and I hated it. Which is funny because I love Michael Rooker, and he was in it. He played one of the villains. And yeah, it was just really stupid in my opinion. Now, moving on to the best films of the year. I've been playing around with this list for the last couple of weeks since I wrote it back in November. I've been playing around with it, and I'm still quite confused about where I want to place things, so I'm just going to get straight into it and see how it goes. Coming in at number 10 is Life After Beth. I found this movie to be original, funny, and just a good layback movie to watch on a good Sunday afternoon. It was just so clever how they did it. It was just great stars. Dane DeHaan and John C. Reilly, that's his name. I can't remember his last name for a sec there, but John C. Reilly as well. It's about Dane DeHaan's girlfriend in the movie turning into a mutilating zombie who doesn't realise she's dead, and the family doesn't want to tell her she's dead, so they're all trying to keep it a secret, only to find out by the end that she realises she's a zombie. Okay, so The Giver coming in at number 9, starring, I can't remember their names, shows how good they are actors. This has a cast of half the cast being unknown, half the cast being really well known. Meryl Streep starring in it, and then you had a couple who didn't know who the hell they were, but they did kind of okay. There's been a couple of these films this year that have been very similar to each other, such as The Giver and Divergent, being about these people who can't remember nothing, and they've just been shoved into this scenario which they don't know what's going on. Just like this video, I don't know what the hell's going on. Coming in at number 8 is The Mockingjay Part 1. I was very skeptic about putting this in here. I really didn't want to. This is one that I really was sort of going, do I put this in here? But then I'm like, I've got nothing to replace it with, so it's going in there. So yeah, this is one that I was very confused about putting into my best movies of the year. It was an amazing film, but I just didn't really think it was going to go into my best films of the year. It just managed to work its way in there because I couldn't find anything to replace it. Coming in at number 7 is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. A lot of people put this on their worst films of the year's list. I found it to be quite a good film. I found it to be better than the first one they did, and a lot better than the second Spider-Man they did back with Tobey Maguire. Coming in at number 6 is, I forgot what number we're up to. Number 6, X-Men Days of Future Past. This was actually really, really good. I love how they've just gone back to the original director and sort of given the franchise a kick in the ass and put it back into place. Coming in at number 5, and please don't judge me, but it's One Direction, Where We Are, the concert film. This film, well, it's not even a film, it's a concert film, was good. I loved it, saw it in theatres, and I've seen it twice on Blu-ray already. It's definitely going in at number 4. Number 5, sorry, not number 4. Now, coming in at number 4, I've been playing around with these top 4. These ones I've been playing around with the most. I didn't know which position to put them, so I don't know. The final 2 I may switch at the end, but I don't know. So coming in at number 4 is The Judge, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Billy Bob Thornton and Vera Farmiga. This film was one that I was waiting for so long, ever since they released the cast list. I'm a massive, massive fan of Billy Bob Thornton and Vera Farmiga, and I also love Robert Downey Jr. Vera Farmiga happens to be my second favourite actress, and Billy Bob Thornton is my number 1 all-time favourite actor. He's just so amazing in anything he does, and he can play the role of anything that gets given to him. So he was really amazing in this. I was actually thinking about putting this as my number 1 favourite, but then when other things started coming out, I'm like, that's definitely going in at number 3, 2, and 1. So let's move on to number 3, which is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Yes, I love this one. A lot of people were saying it's not as good as the original, and by original I mean Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I found it to be 10 times better, way better cast. I'm not a big fan of James Franco, probably one of the biggest reasons I loved Dawn better than Rise. And it had quite a good cast. One of my favourite actors as well, Cody Smith-McPhee, who is from my hometown of Adelaide, South Australia. So yeah, moving on, coming in at number 2, should I change these? I don't know. Oh. Alright, coming in at number 2, The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. I don't know where to put these two. They're both equally as good. They are both amazing films. So I'm just going to say these both come in at number 2 and these both come in at number 1. The next 2 films, which are coming in at number 2 and 1 at the same time, are The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies and The Maze Runner. Both of these films are absolutely amazing. I really don't know where to put these. They're just so amazing. I love the cast of The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, and I love the way that they did The Maze Runner, the style they did it in, and they've, as I said earlier in this review, they've released so many movies that are being submitted to each other this year, such as Divergent, The Giver, Maze Runner, all these sort of survival movies for young teens. Wasn't a fan of Divergent. I thought it was great, but it definitely didn't work its way into the top 10. I would probably put that number 11 or 12. It was a great film, but it wasn't as good as The Giver or Maze Runner. So, Maze Runner is one that really has an unknown cast besides the guy from We're the Millers, which no one knows his name, and also the kid who played in Season 4 and I think some of Season 3 of Game of Thrones. So yeah, it really had an unknown cast besides those two, and if you weren't a film buff, you probably wouldn't even recognise that they were from those roles. And yeah, as I said, The Hobbit has an amazing cast. Richard Armitage, Ian McKellen, you've got Martin Freeman, Evangeline Lilly, Orlando Bloom, and the list just goes on for so long. This cast is so massive. So yeah, I don't know really where to put them, which should go in 1, which should go in 2. I don't know. Drop me down a comment which should go in number 1, which should go in number 2. I'm a massive Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit fan, so that makes me just want to put The Hobbit into number 1 because I'm such a big fan, but I'm trying not to think of it as I'm a big Middle-earth fan. I'm trying to think of it as a standalone film and not as, you know, the whole Middle-earth sort of saga thing. yeah, but they are both amazing films. They both deserve the same recognition. I'm sure you guys have heard of them. So yeah, that's my top 10 and top 8 best and worst films of 2014. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and agree with a lot of my titles. I know there's a couple in there that you guys won't agree with, that I know straight off the bat that you guys will be like, what the fuck is that on his list? Especially things like Guardians of the Galaxy and Lego Movie for being the worst. I know you guys are going to pick on me on that specifically, I don't know. There's a couple of things in the best, like the Amazing Spider-Man and stuff like that. But that's what I think is the best and worst of this year. Also, guys, I'm going to be doing a best and worst films of all time video, hopefully next week or by the end of the week, hopefully. So stick around for that. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see that. Hit the like button and drop me down a comment of what you thought of my choices for the best and worst films of 2014, and also drop a link to a video if you guys have done a best and worst video of films this year. I would love to see what you guys think. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.